For our first project, we're going to use a 2-inch styrofoam ball and the styrofoam tree form and some leftover burlap. This will make our angel, our rustic, primitive tree topper angel. And as I'm taking the scraps of my burlap, I'm just trying to make it fit to my form without overutilizing too much doubling. I wanted it to kind of fit really flat and formed. As I began shaping it, I found a secondary piece to be pretty handy, and it gave it more detail. And I'm just trimming off the bottom. So let me share a little story with you. My paper sack, doily paper winged angel that my son made for me when he was in the 1st grade, she's a little worse for wear. If you have something of that nature that your child made you, please share it with me. I would love to hear the story. I used a dab of hot glue to begin my Jute twine on this styrofoam ball, and I continued it all the way to the bottom. There is a styrofoam glue you can get at your dollar stores that work really well for this, but I wanted it to be consistent from top to bottom. Grab you a wooden skew or a wooden stick and put it in the center. Now I went ahead and I pierced a hole, but you'll see I also secure that with some hot glue. Placing that on and off a tree or off the tabletop, packing it up after the season, that will secure it, but this is beautiful enough you can use it year round. So I grabbed the wired Jute twine, and I'm going to show you a trick to this, but you'll need to size up your wings. You can make them more elongated. These are more like a flower petal shape or a leaf shape, but grab some Scotch tape and wrap it around the wired Jute twine before you clip it. What this will do is keep it from raveling and keep it secure so that the next time you get ready to use it, it won't be unwound. Now once I've done that to the one piece, I need 2 of these. So I went ahead and I put a little extra at the end of this just to ensure the next time I get ready to use it, it's ready to go on one end and secure. Okay, so now we're ready to get started on making our wings. You'll put the 2 pieces together. You want them side by side, and you can put just a little bit of a bend in that. As I said before, you can make these as large as you like or as narrow and wide, and begin winding down at the bottom and secure it with a little hot glue. There is no particular way to do your Jute twine. The idea is to make it very primitive and rustic. And as you see here, I am winding it about and kind of spreading out the wired Jute twine underneath to keep my wing the size I desire. Once you get it wrapped around, secure it back down with a little hot glue. So as I'm shaping this and shifting it and spreading it out, I found that you may have a little slippage, so you may want to secure that with a little bit of hot glue. The great thing about Jute twine is it will expand and contract, and after a period of time, it will stay put exactly where it's at. But to just give it some insurance, I made sure I added hot glue. You may desire to do the same. This primitive rustic angel is absolutely gorgeous. As I said, you could use it for year-round, give it as a gift, or use it as a tree topper. It looks really, really nice sitting around, and it can be decorated many different ways. Really expand your creativity on this one. We got both our wings, and now we have our burlap on it. We've got to dress her up. Make her more primitive by changing her style to what you desire. You can even make this a glamorous looking angel. The crocheted lace that I'm putting around the bottom, the center, and the neck just really made her look handsomely, and it made it look more like a dress. I had a piece of rope and it's raveled out, so I just want some of the fray there to be tightly wound, but you want to leave the frayed ends. You'll have to measure it around her to see, and I kept mine connected in the front. As you see, I'm putting the raveled edges in the back. I wanted to put a wooden heart, as though she were holding a wooden heart, or perhaps you could even make like a pretend choir book. Dress it up any way you like, but I wanted the arms to stay connected. I grabbed the berry garland that you can also find at your dollar stores and just made her a little tiara to go upon her head. I did secure it with a little bit of hot glue and trimmed her out at the bottom with the berry garland as well. I took some white lace ribbon and made a bow. That solid white really made the rustic primitive angel pop. And I'm just fitting everything together, just kind of seeing. Stay tuned, because we're going to be adding a little more to the wings to secure them. And as you can see, they're kind of dented in like the leaves or like a flower petal, so that they will fit in her back. The idea here is you want the wings to come up just above her head, but not over pitched. Once you secure them with some hot glue, due to the weight, I grabbed a paper clip. Here's a little trick. I snipped that into some little hooks, and these little U-hooks I'm going to also secure with some hot glue. That will make sure that the wire stays down in the foam. And in that styrofoam, it's just anchoring them into place so that if the weight over a period of time does not topple over, and secures my wings in place. Grab your wired jute twine again. If you do not have wired jute twine and you desire to do this, take your floral wire and wrap jute twine around it, and that will give it the stiffness. You could even use a pipe cleaner. Once again, grab your Scotch tape before you snip it. Now I want you to see how I did this. This is important on the wired jute twine because it will swish around and shift. So you want to glue it just between the angel's wings and the back, and put more glue up the back of the head to secure it into place so it doesn't swing around. If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Some of the items that we buy at times just need a little bit of cheering up and sprucing up. Mine is a little wore for the wear. I decided to grab my ribbon and some buttons, and I'm just going to make it more three-dimensional. But if you notice here, I'm folding it. That will give it even more of maybe a two-dimensional. I just measured across the top there and removed the wires. This makes it look better and it's not puffed up. I am following exactly the print that's already on this particular sign and folding it. And that little edge going over the top will help to cover up some of that roughed edge for the wear on this particular frame. Now when you see me do the ribbon, you may select to do a different ribbon, or maybe you'll use the same, and I removed the wire out of it as well. And the way I wanted this is I truly wanted it to look like the scarf that's on there, but I wanted to leave the existing tails hanging out. I thought later you may enjoy putting some yarn there for the tassels, and even tying some wooden beads at the end of them would look fantastic on this little square and really give it even more three-dimensional look. This is a method you did in school where you're just following the pattern and gluing your fabric upon the top. In school we used fleece. Fleece would look really good on this. So as I trim it back, you can see I'm taking advantage of the existing tassels. Grab you three little buttons. Mine are close in color, but not exact. I would have loved it even more if they'd have been mismatched. And voila, we have our three-dimensional box. Every primitive DIY should have a mason jar. This one was perfect. I really did not like the foam roses that were on there, so I tore them off, but the greenery to me was closely matched to look like Christmas. All you need to spruce something up and give it a little cheer, there is nothing like Jute twine magic to cheer something up and give it that primitive rustic look. This DIY was requested for me to do a mason jar. Thank you, subscriber, for your request. And I'd like to give a shout out to another special subscriber who asked, Elizabeth, where's the angel for this year? So I give you the angel first. I did a 3-dimensional sign, and now we're just going to make this mason jar plaque one of our own. You can really get creative with this. Share this video with those you think would enjoy sprucing up or making the primitive angel and doing one of their own for a tree topper. The berry garland that I found at the Dollar Trees is wonderful. I cut these into individual sprigs and placed them on the mason jar, and I showed you how I just really twined it up with the Jute twine. Here is our beautiful rustic primitive angel. If you enjoy the DIYs or just watching, subscribe to the channel, become part of the DIY team. Share this video with those who enjoy DIYs or who just like to watch. I appreciate all your thumbs up. Until the next DIY, I'll be crafting y'all. This is Elizabeth, over and out. Bye, guys.